All right, the next award is for the Joe Gold Lifetime Achievement Award. This individual who has consistently exemplified the principles in which Joe Gold built the World Gym franchise. Hi.
Before, we already mentioned a couple times throughout the last couple days who the winner is, so before we bring him up, we want to play a little background video that he put together for us that we just love and give you a little bit of his history.
Hi, I'm Ric Drasin. Born in a small town north of here, a little redneck town, where I grew up playing guitar in a band in high school. I had one of the best bands in town, it was Capitol Records in the 60s, and I thought that was going to be my thing in life. And then shortly after 1962, I went into bodybuilding. My parents wanted to know why. I said, because I want a body, like those in the magazines, like the guys we see in Venice Beach. Back then it was Santa Monica. So I worked out at a YMCA, I became a trainer there, I did powerlifting, I benched 455, entered powerlifting contests, I entered some bodybuilding contests, and I really enjoyed what I was doing. It was a passion for me. In 1965, I decided to take my body and go into professional wrestling. So I trained for months and I got into it, and I started making my living doing that. Well, I was training at Bill Pearl's gym in '69 for a year, and then I moved down to Venice and I trained with Arnold and the rest of the guys from that point on. Wrestling at night, being on TV 3 times a week, which led me into doing films and commercials. My first commercial was with Arnold. We did a heavy Chevy. Then I did Ben with Rats, and then I did The Incredible Hulk with Lou, who brought me in as the Demi-Hulk, the middle Hulk between Bixby and Ferrigno. This was a lot of fun, and we talked a lot about training. I designed the logo for Gold's Gym in 1973. They wanted a little ball-headed weightlifter on the shirt, which I did, and it took off. Shortly after that, Joe came back and he opened up World Gym and asked me to draw the gorilla, which I did. I came out with my own design shortly after that, which I advertised in Weeder's magazine along with maybe 12 other designs, and did phenomenal with that. Did my own silk screening out of my garage and did it for years. I also went into airbrushing and tattooing. All the arts I could learn, I did. I moved to the Valley in 1979, bought a house, and Joe Gold built another World Gym that a lot of people don't know about in Panorama City. He said he'd build it for me so I wouldn't have to drive so far to the beach every day, which worked out pretty good. It was a great gym and I enjoyed training there. It was just like the one at the beach. And then it was sold to Steve Davis, and then it went on from there. Along with that, I trained people for pro wrestling in my backyard. I have a ring. I started a show called Ric's Corner 3 years ago, going back to the legends in the golden era of bodybuilding. I started with a few viewers here and there, and today I have just hit 4 million viewers. It's become a phenomenal show, and it's still climbing to the top. I also host 2 shows for AfterBuzz TV for Maria Menounos on KNBC4, which is SmackDown After Show, WWE, and Old School Wrestling. So I've taken it to the media now, and I really enjoy the history of wrestling and bodybuilding. I'm doing all I can with it. I soon will have my own radio show as well, Ric's Corner Goes to Radio, where we take call-ins. So this brings us up today. Well, here we are tonight at the World Gym Convention. I'm receiving the Joe Gold Lifetime Achievement Award. To me, that is the biggest honor in the world. I had no idea this was going to happen. I am overwhelmed, I'm ecstatic, I'm beyond belief. Joe Gold is an icon. When I met him back in 1969, he brought me into his gym. He treated me like a son. He was the greatest guy in the world. He loaned me a table saw to build my garage. I cut my finger off on that table saw, believe it or not, and I still have that table saw today. Joe Gold opened his heart to everyone. He had a heart of gold, hence the name Joe Gold. When he built World Gym, he built it right across the street from my apartment in Santa Monica. I had the gym on one side and I had the ocean on the other. Who could ask for anything better? And when I moved to the Valley, he built a gym out in the Valley by me too, made it convenient for me. But Joe was a wonderful person. When he liked you, you knew it. He did you favors that no one else would ever do. World Gym was the state-of-the-art equipment. Joe built it all himself. I wished I had it as mine now. It was the best equipment I ever used. So I'm honored to be here. Bodybuilding is a passion to me. World Gym is part of my life. I developed the logo, so the gorilla is my pet, and I'll share that pet with you. And I'm thrilled to death to be here tonight with all of you, and I would love to meet all of you after the show. Please come up and talk to me, and let's have a nice time. And thank you again for this award. It really touches my heart.
A little personal note while Ric is making his way up. So about 2.5 years ago, a mutual friend of ours in the industry heard about what we were doing with World Gym, and she said, you need to meet Rick. So she connects me to Rick, and he says, well, come out to Burbank, let's have lunch. And so I go have lunch, never had met him before, and all of a sudden I didn't know most of the history and the relationship, and I started learning it through Rick. And just besides that, his passion for the brand, and even before he knew what we were doing, just really always just impressed me. And besides that, he's just a really cool cat. I mean, for those of you who met him, you know he's just one of the coolest people you've ever met. So as I continue to get to know him and his contributions, not just to World Gym historically, but to the industry in general, I just was really proud that I could count him a friend and part of World Gym and part of the family. And so I'm really excited to announce the 2012 Joe Gold Lifetime Achievement Award to Ric Drasin.
Wow, it's even got my name on it, ricdrasin.com. I've just changed that recently. I got so many stories. It would take me 2 years to go through them all, maybe even longer, because I've lived like 3 lives in one. But Bill called me, Wynn's chief, who's a wonderful man, called me, and Mike Kuritz, who I love very much, called me a couple of months ago, and he says, boy, we'd like to have you come to the World Gym Convention. I said, where is it? He said, Las Vegas. I don't go 4 miles out of my radius. I'm sorry. I go to the shopping mall, and I come home. Las Vegas, I have to get on a plane. I don't like planes. I don't want to drive. I sit in the car too long. Well, what's in it for me? He says, nothing, just show up. Nah, I can't do it. So then he called me, it was just a couple of weeks ago, and he said, all right, here's the deal, brother. Let me tell you something, brother, right now. You're going to be getting a Lifetime Achievement Award, but you got to show up. I actually got to be here. Well, now here I am, and I took that plane ride, and I went over a huge hump in my life. Now I want to go everywhere. I want to join the airlines. I want to be in the cockpit. I want to be a pilot, maybe even a stewardess. Who knows? But I'm here, and I'm having a ball. I want to thank Bill. I love this guy. And Mike Kuritz is one of my oldest friends. And Louie, who walked out on my award for some reason, because he's been trying to talk me into getting a knee replacement for 10 years. That's why these stairs are so hard for me. I was going to do it from down there. But he left, but I'll catch up with him at the gym. We'll do some heavy squats. I made some notes. I do 3 talk shows a week, as you know, and I'm speechless. I don't know where to begin. This is quite an honor because I got into bodybuilding and pro wrestling and acting and all the things and all the arts, not for money, not for fame, not for fortune. I did it because I had a passion for it. And I was raised a nice little Jewish boy in Bakersfield who my parents wanted to be a lawyer or a doctor. And wrestling and bodybuilding was the farthest thing from their mind. But I said, it's the entertainment business, and it represents money, so you got to accept this. So they said, okay, and this is what I did. My dad died when I was 18. He didn't get a chance to see me go forward, but my mom lived till 97 2 years ago. She was a big supporter of mine, wonderful woman. And so some of this I have to give her credit for, and also my daughter Sammy, my sons Shane and Adam, who are a product of me, and if she hadn't been alive, I wouldn't be here to talk to you people. So this award means a lot to me. It's like getting an Oscar. And my mom was married to an Oscar, so she said she always had her own Oscar at home, and that was my dad, which I thought was pretty funny. It's just one of these things that has come to me at my age now at 91. Sometimes my body feels, and you know, all the training we do, and all the squats we do, and all the pressing we do, my joints are a wreck, and I feel 91 sometimes, but I got the mind of a 15-year-old, mentality of a 6-year-old. But it all works for me. Rick's Corner I started a few years ago, training my wrestlers and training kids like Spencer sitting in the front row and teaching them how to talk on a mic and how to conduct themselves in the ring and get in touch with themselves. And I started Rick's Corner, and a certain person at the time that I was with said that's dumb. And now I've got over 4 million viewers, so it wasn't too dumb. And it allowed me to reach out to all of you and people in bodybuilding and pro wrestling and nutrition and put my thoughts out of what we did in the 70s and the golden era, which is a huge part of my life. And everybody always wants to know, what'd you guys do? What'd Arnold do? What'd you do on the weekends? What'd you eat? How many times did you crap? You know, I mean, it was like, God, I mean, I got that logged in, but I'm not going to tell you. Those are personal things I did. So I just want to say this is a real honor. And it's a pleasure to be here with all of you, and I'd really like to meet all of you, so I expect every one of you to come up to me and shake my hand and pull on that little finger that's missing, because I want to stretch it out to full length if I can. And we're a family, are we not? Yeah. And we will remain a family, will we not? So, in closing, I'd like to say because of that, I expect to be on your Christmas list, and I want to be invited to all your holiday dinners because I have nowhere to go. And I'm lonely and sad, introverted, shy, and have no self-worth. So thank you for having me up here tonight. I'm going to treasure this. It's awfully heavy. I'm going to have Feather, who is my date tonight, take it home for me and help me carry it on the plane. Do you mind doing that, Feather? Because you work out better than I do. And thank you so much. Please come up and say hi to me. I'd like to meet all of you. Okay.